Groovebox, which is built up on a Solaris, sorry. And I've been kind of annoyed by the extreme colors. I did the extreme colors originally because the contrast was so easy to read from phones and other devices, but kind of tired of it, and sort of selfishly going back to a color theme that I enjoy. Perhaps at the cost of people being able to watch what I'm doing, but fuck it. I like it better, and it's pretty close to Solarized. It's just got a little bit of a different flair. So it's kind of fun. Um, hmm So where are we? Open up the grammar file, and here we go. We've got this going on. I feel like I'm giving up the status line on the bottom there again. I wonder what's up with that. I'll have to go figure that out. But yeah, so we were pretty mean in our elimination of extra redundant interface methods here. So all we're giving is the node type string, so you can associate a node type integer to its associated string in any given grammar, and a lookup, a reverse lookup of the same thing, where we're going to do that, and that we plan on implementing as an algorithm, a search algorithm that goes through the array. And I don't know if he's here. I just started, so but I think Greg's going to do that for us. But yeah, so there's a legitimate reason to use one of those sort algorithms that everybody hates to go through when they go through computer science. So I don't know which one we'll use, B-tree or binary, whatever. We'll have to go look through those all. And that might be a subject for a different video all by itself. I do like this is a good example of why you might want to do that. And I love putting context around a decision to use kind of things. All right, so let's actually start implementing. The main reason I did this, though, however, before I leave the interface, is so that I can map strings to first-class function pointers. And in order to show that, I need to do a little bit of a demo on that, I think. So let's, I'm going to just jump right in and implement this, I have a feeling, but we need to first of all think about how this is going to be looked up, and then we'll talk about how I'm going to implement it. So the function should be something to do with, the method anyway, should be something to do with like the first class function. It's not a node type. In that case, it'd be an is function. So it'd be an is function. And this is actually going to be the same sort of thing. I mean, I could do it two ways. I could do it, first of all, the only time I'm ever going to need this right now is for errors, so I can look up the words that go with it. So having an underlying map is not that bad. But if I wanted to be consistent with the node types as integer thing, then I should have a number of strings that are associated with another array that has that. So at that point, you've got both parts of a map. Might as well just use it. So I'm going to say that. So I'm going to just say is functions. And this is going to return a map. So that's going to be a map string interface. Actually, no, it's going to be a map pointer interface. So I could almost have map interface. I might need to do that, to tell you the truth, because I should be able to have either a declared isfunction type, isfunc type, or a function that has that particular signature. So I am going to have to make it a map interface. And actually, no, that's not true. So the thing it will return is a string, and that is so I can get the name of a function that cannot be derived by reflection or any other means of looking at. Probably Yeah, I mean, because the reason for that primarily is because some of these functions may actually, depending on how they're implemented, they might be implemented anonymously, and I don't want to put the constraint on those people implementing interfaces that have through code rendering or whatever. I just want them to be able to fulfill this interface and say, okay, give me all your things that are references. This would have to be a reference to a first class function of some kind, and I want the string that goes with it. So this is going to be a little bit of a test. So we have is functions, and then we have check functions. I've been calling them parse functions before, but I don't know if that's a fair way to call it. It's more of a check function. And these are same sort of situation. And then it's going to return you a string. So the idea here is that I can map the errors from the expected check methods, which take my pseudo syntax of an argument signature with the things that will be matching, and then I can map those to words, and you'll see how that works in a bit. All right, so assuming everything else is in order, that's really it, actually. So we have is functions, we have check functions. Actually, we have tokens, and that is interesting, I guess. So token, you know what? I might as well have it. Anyway, I'm just got to figure out how I would use it. So the parser right now, when it reads through a function, in the expect method, I'll show you. So when we look through this here, we go through down here. So we have rune and string. So a rune or a string might be a token. Tokens are implemented as constants. So reverse looking up that a string is one of the reserved constants, or is as a part of the syntax, is doable. But I wonder how much value it would have, because at that point we're just, what are we really doing here, right? Are we? Why would you need to do that, right? So if I have an error message here, is the error message going to say, okay, you have a space right now? It will escape the rune and show it as represented in Go syntax. If I wanted to, I could make it so that it instead of doing an escape rune the way we're doing it expected, I could reverse look up the token and say, okay, is this a token? If it is a token, then use the token identifier, which would mean, this is an arrow, or this is whatever. But I don't really feel like that's useful. I just don't. Besides, when you match a string, it's going to break it down into its runes anyway. So the errors are not going to show that this is an error with this string. It's going to say this is an error with this rune that doesn't match, because the string is just broken down into its runes for the expect, because it has to compare each rune. So keeping this as a rune, I think, is fine. I don't think we need to pass in the tokens into the thing. If we put the tokens in there, I think it's more just of a useful function. So if somebody else is like using it, we probably should have it, so that we so we can say, hey, here's all the tokens, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So this is more of a, is it one of the tokens, so that people can decide. And that should probably be a map to actually, and the reason for that is so that if somebody actually wants it, they can look up a token and see what it maps to, and the string could be just a single character. So yeah, so tokens, we have token string. So this is a we're not going to have a reverse lookup of the tokens. We're going to have the one-way lookup. We're like, if I put a SP here, a map SP, it's going to give me just a space, and Another thing I could do here is I could actually make the tokens an interface so it returns either a rune or a string. And that's kind of important. I think I'm going to do that actually. Because you can have either a rune or a string as a token. I've debated about making all tokens strings. That's present in the spec itself. So if I go in here, but that, I mean, so the syntax for this is, these are strings, and these are single rune characters. Usually, except for this one. And yeah, I don't really feel like I need to do anything more with that, because it's one way. Maybe we need a reverse lookup later, so we'll add it. And then the last thing that you need to, it's in your grammar, is your class. Your classes are your is functions, and I kind of want to call this, is functions are classes, but I want to be able to call it classes. That would require a little bit of change. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to say checks classes and tokens. Those are the main identifiers that we have. And then we have nodes. This should be nodes. And I feel like, you know what, I might be able to do this. A node as integer, that's a node as int, let's say. A node int for a given name. Nope. I think node is fine. I like that much better. Yeah, somebody can sue me. This is way better. So yeah, that's gonna be. Well, first of all, Go is like generally not really verbose when it can get away with it. Node doesn't imply a node input. So a grammar has a node. You can do grammar.node will give you, if you put the string in, it'll give you an int. Node doesn't imply a node input. Oh, you're saying, so like if you put node, it would imply you're going to be an int and it'd give you a string back? I mean, everything else is returning a string, so that seems like that would be true. So yeah, you can put a node, but you don't really need that, right? I don't know. I keep making exceptions for this particular case. I see what you're saying, though. So it would be like, if we're consistent, we have this, right? Node ID and a string, which is just a map lookup, but so yeah, obviously this is a problem. So we could say yeah, I could do like node name, node ident, no, node int, a node name and a node int. And if you want, yeah, and then if you want all the nodes, there we go. So you got all the options. The node things are going to be the things that get looked up the most, which is why I kind of want them there. The classes, the checks, and the tokens are going to be mapping. It's going to be mapping functions. The checks, and I'm going to go ahead and call it classes. This is, I mean, this is quite a bit of change here, but I'm meaning to do this. So I don't think I have a type check anywhere else. Let me make sure. Well, it'll tell me if I change it. So check. Yeah. And this is function. So be is type. Function class. A class is a. Yep. People can sue me. I don't care. I'll change it back later. Is a first class function type. And then you pass to the expected check methods. It takes a parser as its only argument and uses it to look ahead some amount for the specific match determined by the author. If a match is found, and marked for the last rune and the match is returned, such that the caller can parse and reliably to return the matching string. All right. A class is a first class function type that may be passed to the check and expect methods. Provided the inspector some function keep out for as well. Only argument and use it. I have to go through all this docs. How's it going, Dusty? I'm not going to Toronto after all. Sad day. My wife did a bunch of research and like can't go there. We're stuck. Checkbooks take a parser as their own argument and use it to look ahead some amount for the specific match as determined by the author. If a match is, we were going to go to Toronto. Yeah, can't do it. Got to stay in the States. How's it going, Barzy? Definitely takes. Hey, look, everybody got new colors too. That's kind of cool. I wish I could change the colors. You know what I'm going to do? Eventually, I'm going to rewrite this thing so that I'm grabbing all the chat from YouTube and from. Yeah, it's this color scheme. This is the Groovebox color theme. Really popular one right now. I like it a lot actually. Match as determined by the author. If a match is found, a mark for the last rune in the match returns such the caller can parse reliably to get it. Okay. There we go. You like Growbox? I mean, it's really popular. I've liked it for a while. It has so many things that are reminiscent to Solarized, and I was an insane Solarized nut. I actually made my company colors the Solarized colors when I started in 2013. Yeah, I did videos on it and everything. It's because it's built on Solarized, on the contrast ideas from Solarized, which is really nice. And again, the only reason I didn't have this before was because I was convinced that it was going to reduce readability. So Dusty, since you watch on the phone sometimes, please make sure that readability, we don't compromise readability at all. The warmer themes don't come across on a stream as well. So I just want to ensure that contrast is still maintained for others. But so far it's been fine. So if that becomes an issue, somebody let me know, please. I love cursor line on this. It's got a really great cursor line. So class is the first class function type that may be passed to the expected check methods. Let's see. Class functions. Take a single rune and return true or false if that rune is a member of that class, as in POSIX alnum. The signature of a class function is exactly the same as symptoms of much mobile tablets. Depends on what I'm doing. Yeah. Exactly the same as those in the Unicode. You can't do that in the Unicode. In the standard, go in the standard Unicode package. There we go. So that's good to do. All right, a little bit to flesh that out there. 46 inches. What does that mean? They're scaring me. Oh, you're watching it on TV? 46 inch? Oh. Yeah, mine's... All right. So, your monitor. Yeah. This is not Groovebox. So, this is me attempting to emulate Groovebox. Dusty, do you have Groovebox? Do you have a GNOME terminal for Groovebox? Yeah, you do the one. So I kind of like the difference in color between Groovebox. This is dark, and then when you come out of it, it's this other color, which is kind of fine. It lets me know that I'm not, in VI or something. So I'm kind of good with that. But when I come out, it kind of hurts my eyes because it's lighter. So I'm happy with that. There's a lot of changes I'm doing here. They're going to break shit, but that's okay. I want them to. I'm actually going to change this one to just to be sure. All right. Can you ever move away from multiple monitors? Yeah, I did. I switched back. I actually had multiple monitors in the 90s using X. You guys ever do that? X11? Manager X11. I had 5 cathode ray crappy monitors next to each other I bought from a store, and I could scroll between one cathode ray to the other one, and people thought that was the coolest shit. It's like, yeah, you can only do that with Linux. And I mean, you couldn't at the time. Mac was just barely adding support for multiple monitors. 5x5 inch mobile looks awesome. Okay, great, nice. So yeah, I'm liking it. I mean, it was clear I needed to move eventually. It also makes me calmer, which we all know I need. I need to be a little calmer. So, starting with your colors, look at the pretty colors. Be calm. All right, I have to change. What am I changing? I'm changing parser implementation of the expect method to use the new function types. So change isfunc to class. Okay, so pegn class. And down here we'll change this to what did I have it for? Oh, check. A pegn check. A 3x27 tablet PS Stream is 1080 only. Only? Barnesy, I don't have a choice on that. I'm really sorry. That is, you should, look, so Barnesy, let me tell you something here. This is why I am giving up affiliate. So please take advantage of it, because it's literally costing me money. Because, nobody's going to sub. And actually, I said, guys, everybody knows I'm official. I actually wrote to Twitch and told them I'm dropping my affiliate. So I'm not in violation. Nobody needs to panic. I've done everything I can to Twitch and told them I'm dropping my affiliate. So I'm not in violation. But subbed, yeah, you'll eventually get dropped. They're going to drop my affiliate and everybody will unsub. And then if you want to support me some other way, I'll figure out how to do that. If you're really into doing that, I appreciate you doing that, by the way. But so here you go. Here's all of the transcoding you ever need, right? Now there's going to be more lag here, but the reason that I'm giving up affiliate is for this. And Haney's not back. He or she hasn't been back for a while. They haven't been back. I'll use that pronoun. And this is absolutely glorious. I cannot tell you how glorious this is, because Twitch doesn't give you transcoding unless you're a partner. And so you get stuck. And that really sucks, right? So that's what's going on there, in case you're wondering. Yep. So that's that. The one's able to read, so it's supposed to go to machinist. I can only read code of my lathing machines. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. Those are all good things. Good code languages. Watch on YouTube and use Chatterino to interact with Twitch chat. Just know that before December, the goal is that I will have a new app that I've written, a command line app, to read the chat from the Restream API, which is fucking awesome, by the way. So far, I mean, I haven't gotten really into it, and what it does is I can read all of the chat that's coming in. Let's be real. I don't need to send a lot of things just to IRC. So by using the API, I can actually send messages to every single service at the same time. Super fucking cool. And so, and then I'll just make a hey, Skill Point, how's it going? Then I'll have some sort of like application at the top, which is just similar to what I have running right now. And I won't actually, when I do that, I won't even have to do actually, no, I still will. I just won't be using WeChat anymore. Yeah, I won't be using WeChat. I'll use my own thing that talks to Restream, and I plan on making the whole thing, for anybody. So anybody who wants to do, particularly educational streamers who want to work from the command line, they can do it and they can just run. So that is that's coming. That's like one of the many things I want to work on. So I listed it on my robs.io site as one of the projects I want to work on as I prepare for contract work. And some of that stuff is practical and some of it's useful to show you have the skills. You can go on and do something else. You know what I'm a little concerned with here is I'm not seeing errors pop up here. And I'm starting to wonder if something's not right. After KN, yeah, KN's first, for sure. And KN's actually not going to be that hard, to tell you the truth. It's just I got to get the pieces in place. Just can read it and handle it, yeah. So, guys, I'm a little bit worried right now that I'm not getting my red stuff. Remember the red stuff I used to get? Uh-huh. So, see, that should be turning red and it's not. So I wonder if I killed my please server, my PLS server somehow. Yeah, question. Good book I read for Pandoc. Working with Pandoc for conversion to EPUB. I have not found anything. Can I suggest that you join the Pandoc mailing list and ask that same question, or go read through the archives? Yeah. Grammar looks better with Groovebox. Yeah. Well, it does, doesn't it? It's kind of interesting. No, I'll have to. Actually, Quint posted a picture in the Discord. He's already got syntax highlighting and Doom Emacs working. Yeah. So I do love that it shows me where my position is. Yeah. I'm a little bit concerned though, because it's not showing me my errors. And that's actually, I need to take a little break and figure that out, because that's a big deal. If I'm not getting that, I mean, I'm wondering. Oh, there it goes. Initialize Go PLS. So, Action is a first class function used when visiting each node. I need to put that in the func thing. Let's see, is a first class function type used when visiting each node. The return value will be sent to a channel as each action completes. It can be an error or something else. All right, so those are all my functions that I need to know about. You don't like red on black? What red on black? I don't think I like it either, but I don't remember seeing. I'm not seeing. No, you know what it's doing? Huh. I think it's. I don't think it's highlighting it. I think it's highlighting it, but it's getting grayed or something. Yeah, look at that. Actually, it's not doing any of it. Comments are red. Yeah, that was just because I was temporarily using Dalek. Guess this room is for code readers only. Been fine. In order to find branch, but I gotta quit because I can't read it. Well, it's great for you to be here. If you want to just come and you have specific questions for related to Go coding or whatever we're working on here, I'm happy to answer them for you. It's at some point I probably will eventually have a small humble stream for beginner people who want to just watch from beginning to end. Please watch for the notifications either on YouTube, and notice the title. The title will definitely have what we're talking about. So if you see a title that says Golang for beginners, you might want to jump into that one, or how to master the terminal, that kind of thing. I'm trying to be really good about having a good title and stopping and starting the stream over so that those things get auto-saved on YouTube properly, which is super awesome, by the way. I used to spend 30 minutes a day editing videos so that I could put them on YouTube from Twitch, and I don't have to do any of that. That by itself is worth all the affiliate money I lost. So, in terms of proficiency. All right, so what are we doing? Back to what I have been working on. I'm not so sure I'm okay with not having the red stuff noticed. But I guess I'll live. All right. Nobody called me Branch before. I feel I'm missing out. Called me Branch. Oh. You're a very fine branch. I think he means channel. Or she. I think they mean. See, I got to get better with the they pronoun. Honestly, I got to start using it. I was kind of pissed about the they pronoun when it first came out. I was like, dude, it's so confusing already. Why are we, promoting the confusion behind this pronoun? I go, no, people have been using they gender neutrally for years, forever. I'm like, fine, okay, let's do it. So now I really want to use it. It's like I can use everybody's a they. They are a they, and he's a they, and she's a they, and they are a they. So whatever. I'm not gonna judge that. Back to what I was doing. I only have a half an hour before I have to go. Your emojis look much better on this as well, by the way. Let's do this. Let's do something. What shall we do? What shall we do? I need to make sure I have the grammar implemented. So the interface again, we have to make sure it's covered. So I have classes, checks, and tokens. Let me see if I can actually do this. This is gonna be a little tricky. So I actually need to test this right now. So I'm going to do that. Okay, the classes and checks are the ones that worry me the most. So I'm going to check them first. Oh, don't or do. I'm just glad that this gender thing doesn't really fly here. This gender thing doesn't really fly here. I don't know what that means. But look, that's a political statement. It's a really charged political statement. I'm happy either way, no matter what people want. I don't want to make a mistake there. So we need to say that the AS. So the question is, where do I implement the grammar? And I think that's going to be generated within the AST that's going to be auto-generated. So, which is going to say that AST is a grammar. I'm trying to think here. So, I mean, this kind of is the grammar right here. So I think this goes in the AST library. But I've been... I'm trying to think about how to implement this, because if I say we do say nd.alpha, right? We need that distinction. So yeah. Because otherwise it'll conflict with the ASTs that are that same name, and these actually are all check functions. I have to say that you're making good progress. Well, it's going to be better. It's going to be better. I'll tell you that for sure. AST. So, but let's see what we can do here. So if I made this func, so we have to implement. Well, here's the problem. So because it's an interface, that means now I can't just implement a default. I have to actually have a structure. So that means I have to have an AST that has a grammar. And I believe that the grammar, what I'm trying to figure out is if we can have a grammar that's represented by the check functions are at the top level. And I actually think, I'm also trying to think about what this would look like generically. So do we have a grammar package? You know, I think that might be wiser, to tell you the truth, because we have check. So the grammar. So as we said in the grammar interface, is got lots of stuff in it. So a grammar has, it looks up a node name. It also has nodes, has classes, checks, and tokens. So what I'm calling an AST over here is not really appropriate. That's one implementation of the grammar, but it's not a representation of the grammar. So, it's a check function, right? So grammar, we have checks, classes, and tokens. Function, we have a check and a class and an action. I almost could, you know what? I probably should, I'd probably put these in the grammar itself. I'm gonna do that. So, and get rid of the func calco because they're kind of out of place there. They're definitely a part of what a grammar is. And the hard part here is that that this I'm gonna actually have to say. So it's gonna be a class function, class. So yeah, so class functions. Yeah. So, but the reason it has to be an interface is because it's going to either be an actual class function. Hi, Scream. Good to see you. You've got a time to read something unrelated to coding. Oh, I have my criterion. Has civilization fall? Oh my God. This looks really good. I gotta read that. Thank you very much. I'm adding to my reading list. I'm doing a lot of non-coding relating reading more now that I finished Voyager. So gonna go watch Happyish tonight. So escape to alt? No, it was already escaped. It was already mapped to it. It's mapped to it by default on most Linux systems. I haven't known that all this time. Yeah. So that's what's going on screen. Yeah. Yep. It makes so much sense. I don't remember to do it a lot, but my pinkies finally gave in. my pinkies finally gave in. Yeah. Most systems have it. I don't know about your Arch or stuff, but it's built into every it's built into Alacrity. It's built into GNOME terminal. So it was always there. I was like, why am I not doing this? So in case anybody's wondering, if you're tired of hitting escape or control F bracket or whatever, you don't have control F bracket on your, European keyboard, you can just hold Alt/Option down, whatever you want to call it, and then you can, when you're in insert mode, you just push it and just navigate, and it automatically takes you out of insert mode. But it works really well because you're already moving down anyway. Keyboard is system wide with the XDB. People do that too. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's apparently built in, and that blew me away. I didn't have to change anything. I didn't have to update my vimRC. I didn't have to do anything. And then, so yeah, that was a good thing. I should probably do a video on that at some point. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish up here. So I put these functions in here because they go with it. Class function names. And I'm going to put here, check, function names. And they're functions, they're not methods because they don't have a receiver. They're not associated with any specific struct. So that's what's going on there. Let's see, yeah. So, matches, matches integer, matches, node, node dot type integer. You're doing maps. I'm the map. My wife sings Dora all the time. She misses it. Tokens. So tokens are just tokens. So tokens, this is going to return. So tokens are either, either a rune or a string. Okay, so swiping. I know, she's like the best. Node, she had Teletubbies on the other day. The youngest person in this house is 21. She had Teletubbies like for a full day, just like playing over and over again. Oh, I didn't mind. So what does that say? I thought that was awesome. I just remember my son who's in Toronto now, married and happy, and I'm like, or not, he's outside of Toronto, but I'm like rocking him. I remember rocking the dude, just watching Teletubbies at 6 a.m. hoping that he would just shut up. Sure enough, it worked every time. It's like, please, why are you screaming at 5 a.m.? Just like rock. I'm like watching the 2x2 elephants like march. And I love that show. People can say what they want. I love it. Tinky Winky again. You know what? And then all the Christian right goes ballistic on it, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's a kid show. Yes, but it's subversive. It's causing them to like question gender and blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? If you have that much time to think about it, maybe you need to find something else to do with your life. Oh, I'm in a good mood. Blah 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 blee blue blue blah blah blee blah blah blue. Okay, action. All right, action is the first class function. The Wiggles greater than Teletubbies. I love the Wiggles too, dude. You know what? I did not know about the Wiggles until far too late, but I fully appreciate them. And then we have, what's his face? The French superhero dude. That's Wiggles, right? Goes red in the face. There you go. Yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Well, we got rid of a file, so there's a small victory by putting the function type, first class function type definitions in here. I don't know with any of this what any of this is. Craig. You need to do some research. Yeah, official research. I am not putting it on here because reasons. I wasn't allowed to see the Teletubbies. Of course you weren't, because it's it's far too liberal. Far too liberal. You got kids thinking for themselves. But I mean, come on, they had a Noah's Ark. They had a 2x2. Every good Christian loves that. So, which is one of the greatest scientific impossibilities ever mythologized. All right, I'm feeling very good about this interface. Now it's time to actually do something with it. This guy's happiness and joy is liberal. Yes, Scream. I don't know. I know he's conservative too. I don't consider myself liberal or conservative. I tend to land more on the liberal side of the scale, but I'm rather conservative as well on certain things. That's what's so fun is you don't have to be one or the other, right? You can kind of be you. Silly boy, how are you? Atheist little family are atheists. Well, see, there you go. You just made a proclamation. I am atheist. Why do you have to be a thing? Why do you have to be categorized? God love to let people. Yeah, they do, don't they? It starts on our clicks, right? Oh, I'm a jock. I'm a this. I'm a that. Yeah, like using boomer tech. You're the one who said it. As far as I'm concerned, you coined the term. By the way, I love it. I love the term boomer tech. I don't know where the line is drawn, though. Sometimes I just don't know. Agnostic is totally different. Yes. It is different. Agnostic's like, I have no fucking idea. I don't know. It's like punt. It's like the epistemological punt. I punt, therefore I'm agnostic. That's exactly what it is. I strongly believe in human greed and stupidity. Boomer tech is Bay, yes. Exactly, Greg. The best epistemological punt you can ever profess to believe. It leaves a gap. And I'm still using football metaphors. Why? Because I was raised in Utah. I have no interest in football at all, other than the athletic prowess occasionally I've seen these guys. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But why would I use... that's a home run. I mean, sports metaphors are so built into American lexicons. It's just crazy. There's a gradation in agnosticism. Ooh. Spoken by the physicist. Part being overlapped with atheism without denial of possibility of the higher football. Hockey is greater than football. Because both are affirmations of rejection of a higher power. Ooh. Wow. That's like busting some deep shit right there, Scream, honest. You notice I changed my rating to M, so I can say shit. And if anybody watches and gets offended, it's their fault, not mine. See what I did there? It's your fault I'm offending you. It's not my fault. You're the one who joined us. Let's see. Doesn't agnostic mean it could be a supernatural being, but we don't know which kind? I don't know about that one. I don't know. I am not as well studied in the, I have to say the word once again, epistemological arts. I love that word. That's a great word. Just sort of says it's silly, but words are complicated. They certainly are. Like, what is racist? Oh my God. Let's not. Please, let's not. Hi, Quint. I'm blowing the world up again. You're just coming to see what's going on. And new colors. I have pretty colors. I like your teal that WeChat has decided shall be your color. Oh, for 5 minutes? Yeah, I got stuff to do. Me too. Actually, I only have about 5 minutes. Blowing up means So I'll just summarize real quick for anybody else who's caring. I'm adding a grammar interface so that we can tell the parser about the grammar. So yeah, Parse. In order to qualify, don't agree with what racism means. This is true. So what I'm basically, Quint, as I was doing like these really, really amazing error messages, which by the way I'm so proud of, first-class functions and things like that don't have an English word or a word identifier of some kind that I can associate with it. Therefore, we have to pass it as a map of some kind so we can look it up. And in doing so, that kind of, it's also going to clean up the, actually, I'm going to break it right now so I remember to fix it later. So no more types being passed in the node. That was stupid. It was a hack. I always hated it, and now it's gone. Because why? Because the parser is now going to be passed a grammar interface that's going to know all that shit. So when it says, "Hey, give me the string for this node," the parser's been initialized. Here's what's really crazy: we can actually change the context of the parser midstream. How crazy is that? That's really crazy, right? So we could actually parse along and then set a new grammar on the same parser. Fix new node. Yes, I can. I don't even think I need it anymore, to tell you the truth. Thank you for the reminder, Greg. I think we're going to keep this here. What do you think? Constructors are not typically needed here. It's kind of a safety net. You know what I mean? It's like if we use a constructor here, this is not strictly speaking, this is not a constructor, but yeah, it opens it. Yeah, it really does. Because we can pass anything about the grammar. We can actually change it. We can be parsing along, right? And all of a sudden we change the context of the grammar and parse some markdown. And then, you know what I'm saying? We can say, okay, I'm parsing markdown now, right? So we can actually change which methods get used depending on what we're parsing. So that is, we're not there yet, but the first step is having an interface that we can pass to the parser. So we can tell the parser, hey, think about it this way from now on. It also means that we can encapsulate the entire pegn grammar, the text part of it, inside of it as well. We don't have that in the interface yet, but we can put that in the interface. So if anybody wants to look up the peg for a particular part of the grammar, they can get the docs on that. And then, so that kind of encapsulates the documentation that's already being provided, by the generator. The generator is going to be generating the grammar. So yeah. So to make that point further, the question about what do we call these things, and so this is actually directly a question for you. I only have 10 minutes myself, but we need to figure out what a default name for the generator would use if it were to go in and say, hey, I have this grammar thing I want to do. How do I generate a grammar for it? Well, I think the name should be probably grammar, like just grammar instead of AST, because AST is kind of like assuming it's going to be an AST. Our check functions are returning a node, but it doesn't mean you have to actually use the node as a node. And I know that's kind of a disconnect, but you know what I'm saying? So like in the grammar we have, we have nodes, classes, checks, and tokens. And the nodes are, whether or not the nodes actually manifest as AST nodes is, immaterial. I think it's probably important we still call them those. There's pretty solid AST bias in this whole thing that we're doing, the domain language and everything. So I'm good with keeping that. But yeah, so that basically what I'm suggesting we probably do. Bye, Dusty. So I'm suggesting we probably need to change AST into grammar. And so yeah, so now we have a grammar. And so if somebody wants to see what the grammar is, so then we have the pegn.Grammar, and we have the pegn parser. So this also means that the is functions are going to get bundled under the grammar, and they're not necessarily going to be generated. And so this is kind of nice. Actually, let's do this. So the is functions can go into the grammar. Those are check functions, and then we have so the TK and the parser. So actually, it means we can put the tokens in the grammar, and now what we have is I think we might have a circular reference. I hope we don't. I'm going to have to check that. But what we have now is like all of the stuff related to a specific grammar is under the grammar, and then everything else. So the node, the concept of a node, of a mark, and of a parser are general. They're not specific to our peg implementation related to. Okay, so and then everything under grammar is is the pegn implementation of the grammar for the grammar, which, we had that chicken and the egg thing going on there. But this just makes this directory, this structure look entirely much more like what somebody else's generator might look like, right? So they might want to just have a subdirectory called grammar, and they can auto-generate that, or they can create it whatever they want, and then the rest of the code for the application can live however, and then we can just make it as kind of a a generic thing that we have a grammar directory in there, and they most likely are also going to have a grammar.pgn file. Ooh. Did you get a Librem on order? You're gonna have to talk to us about that. I haven't ordered a PinePhone. I was looking for the Librem. I might have to go back to a smartphone when I start doing contracts, and if I do, I'm thinking seriously of the Librem. Fun with grammar instead of AST makes more sense than indicates it's kind of need a grammar. Yeah, and also I think it's going to really focus people's eyes really quickly. They're like, oh, where's all the grammar related stuff? Oh, here it is, right? So in my imagination, this is how we'll go about generating grammars later. Both are better than the iPhone. Yeah. So basically the generator makes a directory called grammar and implements everything from the grammar interface. And that's all we care about. Strictly speaking, that's all we care about. Right. So, and then how do you enter this whole thing? Well, we need let's do that. Let's add that to the interface. We need to have, the grammar needs to have an entry point. And I think that's important. I think we need an entry point to the grammar. So all this other information is about the grammar, but we need to unify how you would parse your grammar. And I think it's parse. I mean, it's got to be parse, right? So we just call it parse and call it good to go. And what does parse give you? Parse gives you an AST, right? So that would return and we already have that. So, oh wow, this is really turning out well. I'm really glad that we're having this conversation. I know you have to go. I have to go too, but yeah. So this is going to be the entry point for a grammar. So, yeah. Oh my God, this is really great. So, parse is going to take an interface. And that's going to be, the input, and then we'll have it returns an AST, which is a node. So this is going to return to you a single node. N'est-ce pas? Yeah, it's going to return to you a single pegn node pointer. And that takes care of a lot, actually. I'm going to put this down here since it's kind of like a cool thing that comes later. Oh yeah, sorry. And really that all that is the entry point, right? That's just your entry point. So that anybody, I like this though, because then it's consistent, right? So anybody knows. So parse. So grammar, and that will give you a node, and that node will have all of its other nodes. I mean, Payne, if we do that though, are we forcing them to implement an AST? I think we are. I think we are. I'm trying to weigh the value of forcing them to have an AST versus giving them the flexibility to do whatever they want. I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. I mean, up to that point, when we had the parse thing, we like, hey, say, here's your implementation. Actually, you know what? We need to make this an AST interface. That's what we need. So if you have an AST interface, oh God, this is perfect. If you have an AST interface, then you implement this. All right. So I kind of feel like And then you can decide if you want to implement both of them. But the grammar itself needs to have node names. And I mean, they're still called node names, right? Because they're the things that break up the, even if we don't have an AST, we still have, you know, these sectional pieces of the grammar. So I think we still need to have that. It's like a node or action or something like that. Make a standardized peg grammar notation. Yeah. Generation of grammar as well as it left other projects. Let's see. That was a great question. I'm about ready to. I'm technically late for my session. I'm going to get interrupted here. Second, let me answer that question. Sorry, gotta go. All right, Ethan, don't say anything. You're on live stream. All right, just hold it tight for a second. I'm going to answer a question, okay, buddy? All right, so is this project standardized peg grammar notation or the associated tools for the grammar notation? Is there any aspect of the peg grammar? Yes. So somebody else answer that question for him, but I got to go. And